Pacific Standard Time. So here I am, ready to answer your questions. And I want to talk to you a little bit about success. And are you doing your best? Sorry, these papers in the background are just looking so messy. So messy, so I should be more presentable for you guys, but this is just reality. Mom life. Okay. So, hey Electric, Mema, hey Ollie, hey Brody, hey Isaac, hey Khadijah, hey Runa, hey Lily, hey Eris, hey Bonquisha, Jessica, Alex, Verity, Echo Lise, am I saying that right? Thank you for joining me. Hi Tara from England, Esther, good to see you. Brody, oh, wonderful. I sent you the Poetic Prescriptions for Eternal Youth book, right? So that should have a preface and 20 poems in it. So I wanted to talk to you guys about, do you think you are doing enough? Hi, Loretta. Are you doing enough to ensure your success? And are you doing the best you can? Oh, Star's on his way to work in Australia. Whew, I hope you have a good day at work. Vias, did I say your name right? I don't know. I feel like I always get it wrong. Oh, Echo Lise, no, I'm not a matchmaker. I can't set you up on a date with Aiden. I'm sorry. Thank you, Jessica. You're so sweet. Brushan, Snow, Trammel, how are you? So are you doing your best to ensure success? Hey, Jalen, do you guys feel like maybe you don't do enough? Do you feel like your best effort isn't getting you anywhere? Thank you, Jessica. You're so sweet. Verity, happy early birthday. I hope you have a fantastic one. Isaac, thank you. So do you feel like you are doing your best to ensure success? I read this morning and I was like, I have got to share it with you guys. It's called The Best I Can. And you guys know how I like to start my little motivation stuff. Hey, Esther, unfortunately, you didn't hear the news. Carl passed away. I've posted about it many times on Instagram. I've talked about it a few times here. Thank you, Cheryl. Amazing man. We will miss him very much. Oh, I'm sorry you're not doing well in math class. So unfortunately, Carl is no longer with us. We all really hoped and believed and prayed he would pull through, and he didn't. So let me just share with you a little bit. Hey, Flip Flop Productions. Hey, KJ Nation. I want to share with you a little bit, just a short little poem from this book called Poems with Power to Strengthen the Soul. And so I will get to all of your questions when I am done reading this little poem, The Best I Can. Okay. I cannot do much, said the little star, to make the dark world bright. My silver beams cannot struggle far through the folding gloom of night. But I am part of God's great plan, and I'll cheerfully do the best I can. What is the use, said a fleecy cloud, of these dewdrops I hold? They will hardly bend a lily proud, yet caught in her cup of gold. Yet I am part of God's great plan. My treasures I will give as well as I can. A child went merrily forth to play, but a thought like a silver thread kept winding in and out each day through the happy, busy head. Mother said, darling, do all you can, for you are part of God's great plan. So she helped a younger child along when the road was rough to the feet, and she sang from her heart a little song, a song that was passing sweet. And her father, a weary, toil-worn man, said, I too will do the best I can. Thank you, Brooklyn. Hey, Blaze. So you may not think you are doing much. You may not think you can do much. You may think you don't have much to contribute to the world. And you may be down on yourself for not doing enough, for not making a bigger difference. You may be comparing yourself to someone who's built a big empire, to someone who's making a difference on a grand scale. But all you can do is the best you can. If you are doing the best you can, then there's no need, hey Ethan, there is no need for you to be down on yourself, to put yourself down, to compare yourself to people who are doing better, because you can only do your best. I've been like that before, where I see some old work I did, maybe some acting job from one of my earlier years when I wasn't as trained of an actor, or I wasn't as good, or I look at some of my poetry from when I wasn't as experienced of a poet, and I sometimes catch myself, oh, that's junk, that's rubbish, and I put myself down, and I have to stop and think, you know what? If I could have done better at that time, hey Jessica, hey Christina, I would have done better. So don't be hard on yourself for not being as great as other people. If you are doing just the best you can. Yes, Jessica said practice makes perfect. Lily said she used to be horrible at math as a child. Hey, Amanda Nat, did I say your name right? Hey, Brooklyn. So don't be hard on yourself for doing just the best you can. You know what? Don't beat yourself up for past decisions, past things you're doing. Brody says, I feel like I'm not doing enough. I didn't get to read the rest of that, so post it again because it went by too fast. Okay, people are wondering why I'm not answering them. I'm not always looking at the feed as I'm talking. So if I don't answer you, just repost it again. I'm not on here ignoring anyone. Hey, Luke. Hey, Lance. Oh, hey, Boxby, Emily. Okay, I feel like I have my candle wax melt business on Facebook, and lately it went away again. Post it again. Okay, so if you're doing just the best you can, you should not be beating yourself up. Okay, Ethan said he used to be terrible at science and he got better. So we have to just keep practicing and not be hard on ourselves for doing the best we can. And yeah, Vias is saying, if I'm saying your name right, he used to get low grades and now he doesn't anymore. Lately, I feel like I'm failing and I'm not doing any good. I've been so upset lately. Okay, I know how you feel and I'm sorry your business isn't going well. And maybe there's something you can do to, well, of course, there's always something you can do to get your business out there more. But if you're doing just the best you can with what you know to do, it's okay, Moonlight Creator. Then just be kind to yourself and say, you know what? You're doing the best you can, but let's find ways to make it better, but not beat ourselves up, be down on ourselves, be down and depressed. I felt like that this morning. That's why I wanted to come on here and share this with you guys. I was like crying and upset because I feel like I'm not doing enough. I'm not helping people enough. I'm not doing stuff on the grand scale that I want to. I'm not getting my books out fast enough. I'm not getting my course done fast enough. I'm not making as big of a difference as I would like to. But then I had to stop and say, you know what? I am doing the best I can with the time and the money I have and the amount I'm able to manage. So just do the best you can. I can't always control the interruptions that come my way. So I may have plans to do 20 things today, but then the person I'm caregiving for, an old person, and I got my kids interrupting me and different stuff with my special needs sons and tantrums, and I have a toddler, and I shouldn't beat myself up about not being able to accomplish what people accomplish who don't have kids. You know what I'm saying? Okay, somebody said being a caregiver is another thing. Yeah, okay. So you are helping everyone. You are the best, most inspirational person. Oh, thank you so much. You're so sweet. There is only so much a person can do. Exactly. So now I'm so hard on myself, and I'm pretty good at math and science and economics, but yeah, I want to be better. We can always be better. We can always do better. Verity says she wants to be a singer and do acting, but the family makes fun of her and laughs at her. You know what? That's going to happen sometimes, Verity. People aren't going to understand our dreams. They're not going to think that we can make it. No, I don't know what that term means, to borrow trouble. I could guess what it means. So people are always going to make fun of us. People are always going to judge us, and we might not end up achieving our dream to the level we want to, but you can still make a difference to those around you. So don't discount the little differences you can make. You never know if a kind word or something you say could help some person out of their funk. Could you replace my teachers? They don't really care about our mental health. I'm sorry that that's going on. And I know the teachers have a lot on their plate too. And I wish they all were kind and had the best interests in mind of the students, and sometimes they don't. So you have to be about your own mental health. You have to be taking care of yourself. And if you realize you need some help in that area, okay, so to borrow trouble, Vias is saying, means don't worry about something that hasn't even happened yet. Exactly. They say 90% of what we worry about never even happens. Yes, Echo Lise, I was born with 2 different colored eyes. Katherine, how do I become successful? Well, I don't really know what you're trying to be successful in, but I know you've got to work hard, and I know you've got to pray hard, and I know you've got to ask for help. You've got to sharpen your tools. You got to be the best that you can be. Katherine, what was your favorite Dhar Mann video to star in? You know what, Brody, I'm going to make a video soon about the different Dhar Mann videos, because people have asked me a bunch of questions about that. So come back to my YouTube channel. Hopefully in a couple of weeks, I will have that made. Thank you, Esther. So, how are you? I'm good. Good. Thank you, JN. Hey, Lee Rocks. Good to see you. So if you're doing the best you can, that's all you can do. Somebody said, my family makes fun of me for idolizing Adele and wanting to be a singer. Some people don't understand your dreams, and that's just something you're going to have to get used to. Whatever you set out to do in life, you know, there's a saying, I don't know if it's a Japanese saying, but it says something along the lines of some people are nails and some people are a hammer. And if you're a nail that's sticking up, people just want to hammer you down. They want to hammer you down flat. They don't want you to be different. They want you to they don't want you to stick out. They don't want you to shine. You know what? When we shine, sometimes we shine so bright it threatens other people because our brightness makes them look more dim. That's why I'm always telling you guys to live true to yourself, true to your heart, true to your desires and your dream. Love hard, love beyond the point of comfort, and shine bright. You have to shine bright. It's the only way to lead the way for other people. Yeah, somebody's saying jealousy. Some people want to demolish your dreams because they're jealous of them. Okay, when I buy one of your books soon, would you autograph it? Oh, send me a direct message. You know, all 3 of my books are available on Amazon, but people who want them autographed, I would have to send it to you. So, yeah, I wish I could be as smart as the kids on Stranger Things. Well, Jessica, they aren't as smart as they are on the show necessarily because it's a script written for them by adults. You've got adults who've had a lot of life experience and who are very smart that are writing the dialogue, the situations, and the scenarios for the kids. So you cannot compare your smartness to their level of smartness because the adults writing the roles have at least a dozen extra years of experience, okay? So, and that's the thing. We can't compare ourselves to anyone because we're always going to be diminished when we do that. Verity, that's so sweet of you. Send me a Instagram message with the song. Okay, so what do you guys have to say on this topic? I missed a bunch of comments, but repost them if I missed answering you. Some college professors went by too fast. I don't know if you remember me, but I told you my mom was feeling. You call Jay very supportive. Okay. Some college professors intentionally set up their classes where their grading, missed it. Their grading is harsh and they take pride in failing students. I don't know why people do that. Some people feel like if they crush your dreams, you're going to try harder. But from my experience, there's very few people that thrive on being put down, being pounded to the ground. There are some, you will hear them talk about, so-and-so said I was never going to make it, so that made me try even harder. But from my experience, when so-and-so told me I couldn't make it, it made me shrink. It made me shrink back. It made me not try. It made me not be who God created me to be because I believed them. Not everybody is born with this massive amount of self-worth. Or, you know what? Kids, young kids, actually they are. But it gets pounded out of us. It gets beaten out of us by well-meaning adults, by other kids bullying us, by teachers saying, you're not very good, you'll never make it, it's not going to work out. So then we start to believe it. Some people will fight back harder and say, I'm going to prove to them that I've got what it takes. But there's people like me, and I feel like most people will just shrink back and say, you know what, I'm not going to go for my dreams. Maybe they're right. Maybe I don't have anything to offer. Maybe I'm not very good at this. Maybe I can't make it. Maybe it's not worth fighting. And it's easier just to not do anything than fear being a failure and having them say, I told you you couldn't make it. I told you wouldn't be able to do it. Esther said, always go for your dreams. Okay, people told me I couldn't make it and I'd fall to the ground. Yep, but if you don't try, you will never know. And you can't let other people rob you from your dreams. Okay, somebody said, I think grades can affect the teacher. It says more about them sometimes than the students. Yeah, it could be, and the way they set up the class. See, it doesn't matter if you failed. There's so many success stories. There's so many success stories of people who failed in class, who couldn't get into college. Yes, I've listened to the singer Pink before, Brody. So you just have to go for it, no matter what anybody else is saying to you or about you. If you have that dream in your heart, don't let it die because someone gives you negative advice. Okay, someone said their grandpa's in the hospital and they can't keep a smile. Well, gosh, you guys, let's all pray for their grandpa. Dear God, please heal them, help them get whole health immediately in our Heavenly Father's name. Amen. Okay, yeah, all the success comes from failing a million times. Exactly. If you don't try anything, you're never going to fail. So if you never want to be a fail at anything, then don't try anything. But what kind of life is that? Sitting back in the shadows and not attempting anything at life. And we pray for total healing and health for Verity's nephew as well. Okay. So have you listened to Open Gangnam Style? Oh, I heard that song many, many years ago. Yeah, that was a funny one. Oh, thank you. Amanat, am I saying your name right? Yes, Jesse, not trying to play small. Exactly. Don't try to get inside the box that other people want you in. If that's not the place for you. You are your own person. Don't let somebody try to say this is how you have to be. You have to be you. Brody, I don't know what my favorite Pink song is, but let me tell you a story about how I met her once. I was valet parking cars. That was my job. I was parking cars for a company here in the San Fernando Valley called Valet Girls. So it was a play on words. We would park cars at famous rich celebrities' houses. And one time, I don't know if it was Christmas Eve or the day before Christmas, we were in Malibu, where a lot of the rich movie stars live, and we were out parking cars, and here comes a group of Christmas carolers. And they're coming house to house singing Christmas carols to everybody. And I didn't know who they all were, but I was like, some of these people look like familiar to me. Turns out the famous actor Matthew McConaughey and Pink were in this crowd of people going door to door in Malibu singing Christmas carols to people. It was the wildest thing. We were like, oh my God, here's this famous movie star and this famous singer, and we get to hear they're singing Christmas carols to us. It was such a fun memory. I have some interesting memories from when I used to park cars. Okay, you should know to give up your dreams. Is that when? I don't understand what that's. Was that a statement? Is it when should you know? Okay, if that's a question, no, I have not met Adele. When should you give up on your dreams? When you don't desire them anymore. When you don't want them anymore, when you don't care about them anymore, when you don't dream about them anymore, when it becomes more of a pain in the butt and something that doesn't excite you anymore, that is the time you can give up on your dreams. But not before that, because if you still have the desire in your heart, you should still go for it. Okay, somebody said it's better to lose a race. Oh, I missed it. Okay. What year did you meet Pink, and did you get to talk to her? I don't remember the year, but it was at least 10 years ago. Okay, sometimes taking risks, risking big is what starts careers. Yeah. It's better to race the 3-year-old horses than to win a race against 3-year-old children. Okay, I gotcha. If you have a dream, don't let anybody take it away. Always believe it's possible. Hi, Alea. Did I say your name right? Oh, Verity, I'm sorry you've been crying every day and night. You can't keep crying over what other people tell you. It's none of their business. Your life is none of their business. So keep being you, doing what you love. You love to sing, then you sing every day. You sing everywhere you go. You sing whatever makes you happy. And don't listen to others' negative comments. There's always going to be someone telling you their opinion of why you'll make it or why you won't make it. Lily, I don't watch the news. I don't listen to the news. Believe and you will achieve success, Brody said. And that's really it. Who's our biggest enemy? You guys may think the teacher that's putting you down, the bully that's putting you down, your parents that aren't supportive, but your biggest enemy is between your 2 ears. It's your mind. Your mind is the only thing that can stop you from achieving success in life, from being happy, from being able to accomplish anything. It's your mindset. And I know people talk about mindset all the time, but it isn't until you win the battle with the gray matter between your 2 ears that you will succeed in life. Sometimes I think that myself is my biggest enemy. Ethan, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Self-sabotage. If you believe that you can't make it, then you're going to unconsciously or subconsciously do things that make you fail or ruin what you're doing just to prove that you're right. And oh, someone just said, even if you do make it, the critics are still going to criticize you. Yes. Oh my gosh, I saw a beautiful movie last night. It was about a wonderful friendship of 20 years, and it was called Mr. Church. Well, this friendship happened to be between a white lady and her cook, who happened to be black, and it was a true life story of their friendship and what happened in their life. And it got really bad reviews on, what's the website where they roast you? Roasted Tomatoes or something like that. And they totally put the movie down and criticized it because the writer did not bring up the issue of race in the movie. Well, she was saying, well, our friendship didn't have anything to do with race, so bringing that into it wasn't even part of our friendship. It never even came up. Rotten Tomatoes. That's right, Ethan. Rotten Tomatoes. So even if you put out a beautiful movie, but you could put out something amazing and people are still going to hate it. They're still going to pick it apart. They're still going to criticize it. Think of the best singer in the world. They've been criticized. Think of the best actor in the world. They've been criticized. Think of the best sports person in the world. They've been criticized. Doesn't matter who it is. What's the best product in the world? Think of an iPhone. Go look at their reviews. They're not, people criticize them. This isn't right. That isn't right. You are always going to have people criticizing you. So if you're going to let something like that stop you, then you're not committed. You're not committed to your goals. You're not committed to your success or being your best. If you're going to let the nonsense from somebody else that has nothing to do with your dreams stop you from getting ahead. And usually the more famous you are, the more successful you are, the more criticism you get. So if you are stopping living your dreams and goals now when you're not even at a high level of success, then you're not going to reach that level if you're letting people squash you before you even begin. Listen, my old pastor used to say, don't worry about it's like, climbing the ladder of success. He says, listen, go for your dreams, because you can't fail. You can't hurt yourself falling off the bottom rung. If you're just starting climbing that ladder of success, you're on the bottom rung. Listen, you can't hurt yourself falling off the bottom. So there's no need to stop going for your dreams. There's no need. Someone said, how do you follow your dreams when you're a young single mom with a baby and 2 on the way? I try to do it for the kids. Yes, that is hard, but it's not impossible. And many people have proved it. But you have to for me, it just became a matter of using my time wisely. So I had to just, I'm a writer. I had to just write when the baby went to nap time. Whenever the baby went to nap time, I would know I would have an hour to work on my dreams. Maybe an hour and a half. On a good day, maybe 2 hours. So I would say just use your time wisely. You can't work on your dreams 12 hours a day if you're a mom of 3, unless you have a nanny or something. So I would say do what you can. And I don't know if you were on earlier today when I read from this book about do the best you can. That's all it is do the best you can. Don't waste that hour or 2 hours when they're napping to just read a magazine or watch TV. But by all means, don't forget your self-care. If you need a nap when they're napping, then do that, because you need to be refreshed to be a good mama. But there are times where, you can your kids can play, they can play depending on their ages. You can give them a coloring book and you can be working on your goals for a half hour while they're, distracted with something else. And when they get a little bigger, there's ways you can have them help you with certain things. Where there's a will, there's a way. I don't know if you've ever heard that saying, but if you really want something, then you will find a way to get it. And if you don't know what to do, ask for advice. Google it. Watch YouTube videos on productivity for mamas. You can find ways to do it because there's people that are doing it. So it's not impossible. So I've published 3 books, and they were all during the time where I had kids. So it took longer than I wanted, okay? In 13 years to publish 3 books is, to me, that's abysmal. I would love to put out a book every year, but I just don't have the time. So you do what you can. Lily, no, I don't think I'm very good at holding chopsticks. I think I need some help on that. Plus, it's bad. I'm usually always in a hurry, so it just takes too long for me. Esther, if you want to be a doctor, you can become anything you want to be. If you believe it and you work hard enough and you do whatever it takes and you don't quit. Thank you for giving me the confidence to be able to, oh my goodness. Well, how did your mom respond, Jaden? I hope everything went well, and I hope, God was with you. And Jarrell said he can't hold chopsticks either. I'm in such a hurry. I'm just like shoveling the food in. Like it takes me like an hour to eat food with a chopstick. I just don't have that time sometimes. I guess if I grew up using them, I would know how to do it better. You're welcome, Verity. Okay, Lily's been using chopsticks since she was 2. Yep, Matthew 25. I can believe it. I can achieve it. So don't be a quitter, right? Okay, she respected you. Okay. Good for you. I just had a minister who owns a coffee shop make me an offer to sell my carvings. They're on commission. Jonathan, I'm so proud of you. If you guys haven't seen Jonathan's beautiful wood carvings, I think I showed them on an Instagram thing one day. He makes beautiful wood carvings. He has an Etsy store. Jonathan, is it Jonathan Nature Craft? Put it in the feed here so people can see your beautiful work. Okay, so questions. Do you have questions for me? Finally, there's nothing scrolling. I just started a new youth group and it's amazing. Allison, that's wonderful. It's good to be around people who support you. Verity, we're all wishing you a happy birthday on Friday. I may not go live before then, so I'm just gonna say happy birthday right now. Jonathan, with an S, Jonathan's Nature Craft on Etsy. Really cute stuff. What made you start acting? What got me into acting? It's kind of a long story. You know what? Note to self. I'm gonna write that down. I need to do a YouTube video on that. Sometimes you guys have questions that's too big for me to like answer off the cuff, and I just write it down and tell myself how I'm gonna make a video on that. What made me start acting? Okay, let's see. Okay, cool. So I wrote it down. I'm gonna have a Darman video coming up. I'm gonna have an acting video coming up. What is your advice on how to deal with helicopter parents? You need to have a conversation with them. You really need to have a conversation with your parents. Jarrell, it takes about a day, sometimes a day and a half, but we shot a video recently that took 4 days. So have a conversation with your helicopter parents. Let them know, start out by letting them know the things you love about them and the things that you feel like are working. Like, hey, mom, dad, you guys have been the kindest parents. I love how much you've taken an interest in me. I love that you care about my success and you want to make sure that I don't get hurt. The thing is, I'm starting to feel like I want to branch out on my own. I want to have a little more space where I can fail, where I can try new things. And I know you have my best interests in mind, and I know you don't want to see me get hurt or fail, but I feel like part of my journey growing into an adult and becoming the person I'm meant to be is that I need to have a little more space. And I know that may be scary for you. I know it may be something you're not ready for, but I have to be able to try things. I have to be able to fail. I have to be able to experience rejection and heartbreak. And don't worry, mom, dad, I'm not cutting you out of my life. I love you and I need you and I appreciate everything that you've done for me. But right now I'm feeling like I'm like a baby bird and you've been feeding me. You've been regurgitating the worms and I want to go find my own worms. I want to hop out of the nest and learn how to fly on my own. So I'm not trying to cut you out of my life. I appreciate everything that you have done for me. And please know that I always want you in my life. But right now I need a little space to try to fly on my own. And see what they say and make sure you let them know I want you close by. I do want you in my life. And I promise if I need your help, I will ask for it. I will say, Mom, I will come to you for advice. I will make sure that you are included in the loop in what I do, but I really want to start making some decisions on my own. See how they respond to that. Sometimes, guys, we can't be afraid to share what's on our heart. We have to just tell the truth. Brooklyn says, how do you be a Darman actor? Well, I heard they put up their casting notices on LA Casting, and I know they used to put them on Backstage. So if you are subscribed to those casting services, you'll see when they put up videos. Favorite Darman video, someone asked me that I was not in. There's one they initially asked me to be in, but then they gave the role to somebody else, which I don't know if it's my favorite role, a favorite Darman video that I've not been in, because there's really a lot I like. But one that they initially asked me to be in, and I saw it recently, and I'm like, oh, I'm so glad somebody else did it, because she did a great job, and I loved how they did the casting on it, and I thought it was better than I could have done. So, the 51-year-old who gets pregnant. So, they initially asked me to be in that, but then they changed their mind, and they went with Ricky, and she was wonderful in it. That whole cast was wonderful. Was it Ayana and Vin? oh, they did so great. And I was like, oh, I'm so glad that they did it because they did it much better than I could have. So yeah, what happens if someone calls you rude when you say nothing? Rude about them? Well, first of all, don't listen to it. Don't listen to people calling you names. You know, there are times where we take constructive criticism where maybe we were rude, but we weren't rude on purpose. You know what I mean? And yes, Ricky is amazing. She totally is. We aren't rude on purpose. You know, I remember a time I was rude at a restaurant to a waiter, and I didn't even realize at the time I was doing it. I was super hungry. I guess I was hangry. I was PMSing. I just wanted some cheesecake. I wanted some chocolate. Oh, and I got mad at the waiter because they gave me a dirty fork. And I just wanted to dig in and eat my chocolate cheesecake, but my fork was dirty. So we've all done things that are rude. And I was like, I didn't even like look at her. I just like holded up the dirty fork to show her. So we've all been rude unintentionally without realizing it. And that little rude behavior came back to haunt me for years. Because whenever I was like, would be in a mood or be whatever, my roommates would be like, they would just do this motion, like holding up the fork, and then they would say, okay, that was their way of reminding me that I was being rude. Yes, I want chocolate. Don't you guys love chocolate like I do? Okay, I realize not everybody does. But there are moments, sometimes for females, sometimes once a month, where you just have to have chocolate and nothing else will do. What can I say? I'm human. Allison asks, how often do you get recognized in public? I don't feel like I do. Well, now that we have to wear masks and I have sunglasses on usually, so like no one's going to recognize me from my forehead. Okay. Oh, Eris, thank you. How about chocolate avocado mousse? I've had that before. It was okay. You know what I'm really digging right now? I didn't think it was going to be a combination I would like, but I'm kind of digging right now dark chocolate hummus. It sounds like it's going to be gross, but it tastes like chocolate mousse. Maybe not as creamy, but super good. Okay. Ethan said he would probably recognize me. Yeah, I remember one time I was doing a wrestling show, and they dressed us all as ninjas, and we were all covered head to toe, except for our eyes. And I took a picture, we're all dressed, and I was like, who can recognize me? You know, it's kind of funny. Hey, Katherine, all I want to say is thank you. You know why? Because in every video you are in, you teach me a lot about life. By the way, greetings from Paraguay. Oh, Leo, you're so sweet. My favorite color is turquoise. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know why everyone does that. I don't think I know any Swedish words. My mom used to sometimes pray in Norwegian. So my mom's 100% Norwegian. And my dad is mostly Swedish, but also with some Irish, English, and Danish. Yes, Vanessa, I only met her doing that one video with Amanda LeCount. I hadn't met her before that. I haven't worked in any other video with her. Lily wants to go to New York to see her family. Great. So, any last questions? Did I answer all your questions about success and being your best? Was there anything left on that topic that I did not address? Matthew says his grandfather is German. Great. So on that note, I think I'm going to say goodbye. You guys have a wonderful day. Go for your dreams and just do your best. And don't beat yourself up if you're not doing your best, because your best is all you can do. Oh, one last question. Jarrell says, do I want to be in the movies? I've been in over 100 movies. They just didn't really go anywhere. There's a couple of them you can see. You guys, you got to rent my movie. Rent my movie, Cannibal Corpse Killers. Google Cannibal Corpse Killers and find it. I produced it. I executive produced it. I starred in it. And if you like zombies, you're going to like my movie, Cannibal Corpse Killers. Origami Productions, you've been noticed twice. But bye for now.